Welcome to the ultimate breakdown of the 2026 March Madness tournament as we enter the most intense stretch of the season. The bracket has been whittled down to 16 elite teams, and the path to the championship is finally coming into focus. We have seen massive upsets and blue blood battles that have set the stage for a historic finish in Indianapolis. From the coaching masterminds to the generational freshman talent, the star power in this year's Sweet 16 is off the charts. Every possession now carries the weight of a season's worth of work, and only the most disciplined will survive. My bracket has taken some hits, but the core path to the title remains intact. As we analyze these high-stake matchups, we will look at how defensive systems clash with high-octane offenses across all four regions. The narrative of the Big Ten's dominance is reaching a fever pitch, while the Big 12 and the ACC are fighting to keep their legacies alive. I'm going to walk you through every single game, providing insight into the players who will define these moments. Get ready for a deep dive into the 2026 Sweet 16 Elite 8 and the journey to crowning a national champion. The East starts with a clash of titans as John Shire's Blue Devils face off against Rick Pitino and St. John's. Duke relies on the dominance of the Boozer twins, Cameron and Caden, alongside the dynamic scoring of Isaiah Evans. However, Pitino's squad brings a level of intensity that is difficult to replicate, led by the physical play of Zuby Ejiofor. Bryce Hopkins and Ian Jackson provide the Red Storm with versatile scoring options that test the Duke perimeter defense. This game turns into a tactical war, with St. John's relentless pressure forcing uncharacteristic mistakes from the young Blue Devils. In a result that shocks the world, St. John's executes their game plan to perfection and eliminates the top seed. On the other side of the East, Tom Izzo's Michigan State Spartans take on Dan Hurley and the UConn Huskies. The Spartans are led by the toughness of Jeremy Fears, Jackson Kohler, and Cohen Carr. UConn counters with the veteran leadership of Alex Caravan and the interior rim protection of Terrace Reed. Silas Demery provides the Huskies with elite playmaking, but Izzo's defensive scheme is designed to take away their primary options. The game is a physical slugfest that stays within a single possession for nearly the entire 40 minutes of play. Ultimately, Michigan State's grit on the offensive glass allows them to outlast the Huskies and advance to the next round. The South region brings an all Big Ten battle as Ben McCollum's Iowa Hawkeyes meet Fred Hoiberg and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Iowa leans on the scoring of Bennett Sturts and the versatile play of Alvaro Fulgueros and Tavion Banks. Nebraska counters with the leadership of Rink Mast and the shooting of Sanford. With Sam Hoiberg providing a spark off the bench, the Huskers play a methodical style that frustrates the Iowa offense. This game becomes a chess match between two coaches who know each other's systems inside and out from regular season play. Nebraska finds the right shots in crunch time to secure the victory and move one step closer to the Final Four. On the bottom of the South, Brad Underwood's Illinois squad faces Kelvin Sampson and the Houston Cougars. Illinois features the playmaking of Kylan Boswell and the unique length of the Ivisic twins and David Mirkovic. Houston brings the nation's most physical defense, led by Joseph Tugler and the veteran presence of Milos Uzan. The Cougars lineup is bolstered by the emerging talent of Chris Senack and the floor leadership of Kingston Flemings. It is a low-scoring affair where every point feels earned, but Houston's intensity eventually wears down the Illini wings. Houston's ability to force turnovers and control the glass allows them to emerge victorious in this defensive battle. The East Regional Final is a clash of identities as St. John's faces Michigan State for a trip to Indianapolis on the line. St. John's continues to ride the momentum of their upset over Duke, using their speed to disrupt the Spartans' backcourt. Michigan State leans on their tournament experience, trying to slow the game down and win in the half court. Rick Pitino's system proves to be too chaotic for the Spartans to handle over the full 40 minutes of play. St. John's forces key turnovers late in the game that lead to easy transition buckets, breaking the Spartans' spirit. The Red Storm complete the improbable journey to the Final Four with a hard-fought victory. The South Regional Final features Nebraska taking on the defensive juggernaut, That is the Houston Cougars. Nebraska's shooters find it difficult to get open looks against the relentless closeouts of the Houston perimeter defenders. Houston dominates the offensive glass, getting multiple second chance opportunities that prevent Nebraska from building any momentum. Kelvin Sampson's squad dictates the physical tone of the game from the start, making every Husker possession a struggle. While Nebraska keeps it close with grit and hustle, Houston's depth eventually proves to be the deciding factor. The Cougars advance to the Final Four, showcasing the defensive identity that has made them a favorite. The first Final Four matchup in Indianapolis pits the St. John's Red Storm against the Houston Cougars. Both teams pride themselves on defensive intensity, leading to one of the most physical games of the entire tournament. St. John's attempts to use their full court press to fatigue the Houston guards, but the Cougars' poise is unbreakable. Houston's advantage in the paint becomes clear as they control the rebounding battle on both ends of the floor. The Red Storm's historic run finally meets its match against the disciplined system of Kelvin Sampson's Cougars. Houston emerges as the victor, securing their spot in the national championship game with a clinical defensive display. Moving to the West, Tommy Lloyd's Arizona Wildcats face a high-powered Arkansas team coached by John Calipari. Arizona features the elite length of Koa Pete and the freshman scoring punch of Braden Burries. Jaden Bradley controls the tempo for the Wildcats, matching up against a talented Razorback backcourt led by Darius Acuff Jr. Arkansas attempts to push the pace with Mealik Thomas and Billy Richmond, but Arizona's transition defense remains solid. The Wildcats' ability to score in the paint proves to be the difference as they exploit mismatches throughout the second half. Arizona remains focused under pressure and secures a convincing win to keep their number 1 seed journey alive. The West also features an intriguing matchup between Sean Miller's Texas Longhorns and Matt Painter's Purdue Boilermakers. Texas looks to disrupt the game with the athleticism of Dalen Swain and the interior size of Mattis Voikititis. Purdue relies on the steady hand of Braden Smith and the physical post play of Trey Kaufman-Wren and Oscar Clough. Fletcher Lawyer provides the floor spacing needed to prevent the Longhorns from doubling the interior on every play. While Texas puts up a valiant fight, Purdue's disciplined execution in the half court allows them to pull away late. The Boilermakers' size advantage on both ends of the floor is too much for Texas to handle in the closing minutes. In the Midwest, Dusty May's Michigan Wolverines take on Nate Oates and the high-octane Alabama Crimson Tide. Michigan's offense is a masterclass in movement, featuring Adai Mara and Yaxel Lenenborg in the frontcourt. Elliot Cadeau facilitates for scorers like Morez Johnson and the dynamic freshman Trey McKinney throughout the game. Alabama tries to keep pace with the shooting of Latrell Wrightsell and the playmaking of LeBaron Philon and Amari Allen. While the Tide hit several early three-pointers, Michigan's defensive rotations prevent them from finding a consistent rhythm. The Wolverines' depth and unselfish play allow them to pull away in the second half for a comfortable win. The final Sweet 16 game pits Rick Barnes' Tennessee Volunteers against TJ Otzelberger and the Iowa State Cyclones. Tennessee relies on the defense of Felix Okpara and the scoring of Jacoby Gillespie and the young star Nate Ament. Iowa State's defense is legendary, led by Taman Lipsey and the perimeter shooting of Milan Momcilovic. Joshua Jefferson attempts to return from injury to provide a spark, while Blake Buchanan anchors the interior for the Cyclones. The game is a slugfest, where both teams struggle to find clean looks against elite perimeter defensive pressure. Iowa State's poise in the final minutes allows them to secure the win and end the Volunteers' tournament run. In the West, the top-seeded Arizona Wildcats battle the Purdue Boilermakers in a game for the ages. Arizona's athleticism and speed are tested by the sheer size and discipline of the Purdue frontcourt rotation. Matt Painter's team executes their inside-out offense to perfection, finding open shooters whenever Arizona doubles the post. The Wildcats try to use their length to disrupt the passing lanes, but Purdue's ball security remains elite throughout. The game stays tight until the final buzzer, with Purdue hitting crucial free throws to maintain a slim lead. Purdue triumphs in the West, securing their place in the Final Four behind a dominant performance. In the Midwest, the number 1 seed Michigan Wolverines face a tough Iowa State team for a spot in the final rounds. Michigan's ability to space the floor forces the Cyclones' elite defense to stay home on shooters rather than packing the paint. The matchup between Elliot Cadeau and Taman Lipsey is a highlight of the game, with both guards showcasing elite IQ. Michigan's frontcourt of Adai Mara and Morez Johnson provides the rim protection needed to stop the Cyclones' drives. As the clock winds down, Michigan's offensive versatility allows them to find high percentage advantage looks while Iowa State stalls. The Wolverines win the region, punching their ticket to Indianapolis and proving they are the team to beat. The second Final Four game is an all Big Ten rivalry match between Purdue and the top-seeded Michigan Wolverines. Purdue's interior size is a constant threat, but Michigan's speed and shooting range stretch the defense to its limits. Dusty May utilizes a high-screen game that forces the Purdue bigs to defend on the perimeter, creating driving lanes. Braden Smith and Elliot Cadeau trade elite playmaking moments in a battle for backcourt supremacy on the big stage. Michigan's depth allows them to maintain a high level of intensity, eventually pulling away in the closing minutes. The Wolverines defeat their conference rival to advance to the title game, looking every bit like the favorites. The 2026 National Championship comes down to a clash of cultures between Michigan's offense and Houston's defense. Houston jumps out to an early lead by forcing turnovers, but Michigan's shooting eventually stabilizes the game. The battle for the glass is intense, with Merez Johnson and Adai Mara fighting for every rebound against Joseph Tugler and Chris Senack. In the final minutes, the game is tied, as both teams trade high-stakes buckets in front of a sellout crowd. Michigan's star guard hits a series of clutch jumpers to give them a small cushion heading into the final minutes. The Wolverines hold off a last-second rally to secure the 2026 National Championship in a legendary finish. What an incredible journey we have witnessed as the Michigan Wolverines are crowned the 2026 National Champions. This tournament has been a testament to the grit, skill, and coaching brilliance found across the entire college basketball landscape. From St. John's historic upset run to the dominance of the Big Ten, this year's madness lived up to every expectation. Michigan's victory marks a new era for the program under Dusty May, showcasing the power of unselfish and high IQ basketball. We saw stars like the Bouger twins and Elliot Cadeau cement their legacies on the sport's biggest and brightest stage. The memories of these buzzer beaters and defensive stands will stay with us long after the nets have been cut down. Thank you for following along with my bracket breakdown and sharing in the excitement of this year's tournament journey. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the world of college hoops. Let me know in the comments which team or player surprised you the most during this year's incredible March Madness run. Until next year, enjoy the offseason and keep the spirit of the madness alive in everything you do.